Today we're going to be taking a look at and installing the Willpak rear window louvers in smooth aluminum for 2010 to 2014 Coupe Mustangs. These louvers have a two-piece design which makes them very easy to lift off to clean your rear window. They're made from aluminum with a smooth matte black finish, and that's much different than a textured ABS finish. They cost about $450. They are contoured to fit your rear window, and they give you that classic louvered look of the 60s and 70s. They're very easy to install. I'll call it a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and I'll show you how to get them on the car now. So the first thing that you're going to do is actually prep your glass. So Willpak tells you to use a warm soap and water mixture. They actually tell you not to use Windex. So guys, don't use Windex because it does leave a residue. These are going to apply with 3M tape. You want to make sure your 3M tape has the best adhesion possible in order to keep these on the window. So we already washed the car with warm soap and water mixture. I'm just going to go ahead, wipe over it with a microfiber towel because it's lint-free. It's not going to leave anything on the window. And one last thing you might want to grab is some alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol is actually going to be one of the best things that you can use on the glass in the areas where you're going to have 3M tape. So I'm just going to go ahead and wipe down our glass quick. The next thing that we're going to do is actually combine our louvers into one piece since they are two-piece. So you can see I have them lined up here on the table. They're literally just going to slide into each other. So I'm going to start with one end. I'll work at this end. All right, so I'm just starting because you want to make sure that you don't push one side in too far. You want to keep these even. All right, now with the middle slid in, we're going to move to the edge. So you will have a little resistance here because you'll have to bend up the louvers. With the two sides in, you'll be able to grab the middle piece. With the louvers in one piece, we'll then flip them over so that we can work on the underside. So the next step is we're going to take the foam covered center splint here. So we have 3 splints, 1 for the middle and 2 for the sides, and they just add support to this since it is a two-piece. So we are going to peel the backing off the 3M tape on the center splint. You know it's a center splint because it has the foam on this side. It's going to go up against your window with the foam. So peel the backing off and apply the center splint. Then we have our 2 side splints, and we know they're the side splints because they don't have any foam on them. So we're going to take the 2 side splints, peel the backing off the 3M tape, and they're actually going to sit here on the side and add stability to the side where the louvers connect. And we'll go to the other side. Once again, peel the backing off the 3M tape and apply in the same spot right here where the louvers connect. Next, we're going to install the hinge plates, which are these right here. There are 6 and there are 3 that go on either side, and these are what actually hold the louver to your rear windows. So we install the hinge plate like this, so that the 3M side's facing up, because like I said, this is the part that's going to go on your window. You are given washers, and you have nuts to go on the top. So we are going to put this on here. You want to make sure that the majority of your hinge plate is facing towards the inside of the louvers. You don't want to install it like this. You want to install it like this. Grab a washer, grab your nut, tighten it down. And we'll move on. There are 3 places on each side where we're going to install these. And then we will go to the other side. Hinge plate goes face down like this. Throw a washer on, followed by the nut. At this point, what you're gonna wanna do is take this over to your car and test fit it on the window. I'll say that it's gonna sit towards the very top of the window because you need room to open the trunk. We're gonna mark with painter's tape where your brackets are so you know where to use the adhesion promoter. One other thing I'll say while we're here and we have this upside down is if you guys are worried about these rattling against your window, now would be the time in which you can add more of this, which is double-sided 3M foam right here, or a piece of weather stripping. You can add more on the back side here if you are worried about hearing any kind of rattling or if you're worried about this hitting your window at all, because that'll just keep them even more silent. So let's go test fit this on the car. All right, so once again, we want the fitment of the louver to be as tight towards the top as possible. We are leaving space down here at the bottom for the trunk to open, and we're gonna test that in a second. So right now, I'm going to open the trunk and just test the fitment. Make sure we don't have any contact here with the louver. And we don't at all, which means that the placement of the louver is good. So right now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is grab the painter's tape and I'm gonna mark on the car where these brackets are sitting so I know where to use the adhesion promoter on the glass. So now with that marked, I'm going to lift the louver off because the test fitting is complete. I'm going to grab the adhesion promoter that Willpak actually supplies for us, and I'm gonna put it on the window. You don't wanna put the louver on right after you apply the adhesion promoter. You wanna see a nice haze on it because that's the point when it's the most sticky. So I'm gonna grab this off for now. So now we'll take the adhesion promoter. We're just gonna apply it where we know our hinges are gonna be. You don't want to put it all over the window, you're only putting it where the brackets are going. So at this point, we're going to take the backing off of our hinges. So we'll take the backing off the 3M tape here. All right, so now you can slide this into place and get this on the window. So obviously in this case, having a second set of hands is really gonna help you out, especially since you already have that 3M exposed and you have the adhesion promoter on here. So I'm gonna continue to line this up with my tape. And then once everything's lined up perfectly, like I said, once again, you want it as close to the top of the window as possible. You're then gonna press down firmly into place. So at this point, Willpak actually recommends to undo the nuts here, leave the hardware on the window, and fully remove the louvers from the car. And they do this for two reasons. First and foremost, they want the 3M tape to be able to seal 100% properly onto the window. They think that the weight of the louver itself will affect that bond in some way. So what they want you to do is they want you to remove the louver, leave the hardware sitting on the window for 24 hours. Don't drive this car during the period, just let it sit and let the 3M adhere properly and then cure. They also want you to take a little bit of silicone and rub it around your hardware just so you can seal out any and all moisture that might ever get in and compromise the 3M tape. That's just gonna make sure that this hardware stays on the window for as long as possible and the bond stays as strong as possible. That's gonna wrap up this review and install. Keep in mind that you can always check these louvers out more online right here at AmericanMuscle.com.